Hey there, Math Moment Makers. It's Kyle here from MakeMathMoments.com. And today we are going to be diving into and really kind of extending beyond the previous two videos. If you've noticed in the last two videos, there are actually continuations from the same lesson. Well, here is an extension from the previous video. What's the concept? Well, we'll talk about it right after this. As math teachers, we're well aware that learning math is developmental in nature, that one idea builds on another, and the deeper our understanding of prior concepts and skills, the more smoothly the next phase in the learning journey will be. However, we're often a little bit too rigid on this thinking. I'm sure you've been there. I know I've been there before, and it can lead us to believe that learning a skill further down the developmental road is not possible until students have mastered an understanding of prior skills and concepts. Well, in today's video, we're going to show that we can begin our learning journey with an idea. In this case, it's going to be ratios, rates, and proportional relationships as a means to build our fluency and flexibility with multiplication and division, instead of waiting for mastery in those concepts before moving on to this super important concept. So in this video, we're going to talk about how we can leverage context and mathematical models, or actually I should say we're not going to talk about it, we're going to show you how you could do that as a means to introduce ratios and rates while building fluency and flexibility with multiplication and division. And we're also going to show you at the end of this video where you can go to find the problem-based unit called planting flowers that we are modeling in this particular video. All right, my friends, get ready because here we go. This was the actual problem, right? This was the actual problem right here. Now you're telling me that, okay, wait, this was the rate that we had revealed. We found the rate the other day, right? Awesome. I love it. Let's do that right now. All right. We'll be back in just a few minutes. A timer bar is coming up for you. Okay. So now I do see a couple strategies. I also see some misconceptions that are very common. And, you know, we look at this problem over here and we think about it and we go, wait a second, we have 72 flowers to plant in 4 boxes. There they are. I have 72 flowers in total. We kind of looked at this. We did this, you know, this process of taking the 72 boxes and there's 4 boxes total. And we said, you know what? Let's split them into 2 groups, 2 boxes each for each group. Then we said, you know what? That means if we do it one more time, we're going to have 4 boxes and 4 groups of flowers and we're good to go. In this problem here, though, we now know how many we want in each box. So I have 6 boxes. I need 18 flowers per box, or I need to use 18 flowers per box. And I want to know how many flowers in total do I need to buy. So some people may have looked at what we did and tried to just model what we did, right? And I don't know if I'm saying that clearly, but like some people might have been like, well, if I just take, you know, the numbers from here and I do the same thing. Like some people might say, well, I see a big number's 18 and a big number and the smaller number is 6. They might go, okay, 18 and 6. But that's 18 flowers per box. Wait, where's 18 flowers per box? That's way over here. That's the answer to this problem. All right, that's the rate. Now we're given the rate and I want to know how many flowers. Like I want to know what this number is now. Wait a second. That is not going to, that is not going to have us use that same exact strategy. Although, again, I can see how that might happen. So for our friend that I'm going to emoji you with a surprised look, that means that you may have maybe misread or misinterpreted what the actual question's asking. Yeah, like if I was just to think about these 2 boxes,
I mean, I could basically tell you, like, I know that if there's 18 here and there's 18 here, that I'm going to have double 18 because I have 2 boxes. Oh, interesting. I wonder if I can use a strategy like that. Interesting. Okay, so I'm going to pull up a nice clean sheet of paper here. And basically what I think I heard you say was like, you were like, okay, well, I knew that I have 6 boxes and 18 flowers per box. So it's like 6 is my parts or my groups. So I have 6 boxes and I have 18 flowers per box. And are we dividing these two values? Like, what are we doing? Multiplied. Let me think about that for a second. Okay, so if I have 6 boxes, 6 groups of 18 per group, that kind of makes sense, right? I've got like, yeah, it's like if this is 18 right here, then I have like 1 copy, 2 copies, 3 copies, 4 copies, 5 copies, 6 copies, or 6 boxes of 18 flowers per box. And we're trying to figure out like how much that is. And I don't know about you there, miss, but like, how do you think, like, did they go further and tell you about that? I don't know my 18 facts personally. Maybe you do at home, and that's cool if you do. Yeah, like keep those strategies coming. And like one thing I'm gonna not put down an answer yet, just because I'm like, you say you got it right, but I don't know what your strategy is yet either. But one thing I am going to do down at the bottom, and I wonder if this will help at all, is like, I do remember the way the boxes were arranged. Now, something that's really cool is that just because the boxes were arranged like this in this particular problem doesn't necessarily mean I need to keep them arranged like that, right? Yeah, so like I had 18 in this one box right here. Okay, that's cool. So I have 18 flowers per box. That's all right. I'm wondering, is there something I could do I'm kind of going back here and thinking like you had this strategy of halving, but it's almost like, am I wrong if I say it's almost like, well, we know this on like, look at this. It's like, something I know from before is I knew that 4 boxes of 18 was 72. I wonder if that helps. And honestly, that totally works. And I'm super curious like how they did the adding, because like I look at that and go like, that feels still hard to me personally. But maybe it's not for you, and that's awesome if that's the case. Something, if I was using this strategy, something I might think about doing is like, well, this feels easier to me. Yeah, that's kind of my thinking, is like if I like add 2 to every 18, I'm like 20, 40, 60, 80, 100, 120. But then I need to like subtract 2 a bunch of times. Yeah, like I'm like, I know this is 4 I got to take away, or 6 I got to take away, or wait, 6 doubled is 12. So I could like go and do that and say 10, take away another 2. Okay, 108. So 108 feels good to me. I'm going to put 108 here because we have 3 people who have said it. 108 what? 108 what? What were we looking for? Well, if I'm 18 and we're doing that, so this is flowers, right? Like this is how many flowers in total. Okay, this strategy to me, super cool. Like, so whoever added 18, you didn't have to add it the way I did, but that to me felt easier for me. So that's why I did that strategy, but maybe you had a different, somebody may have had a better or a different strategy there. Okay, now I'm wondering, like, I want to come back, like, miss, is it okay if we come back to this thinking for a second? Because I'm curious to see if my thinking works. Because, like, we had flowers, and then we wanted to figure out how many per box. And now we know how many per box. And I wonder if like we work back that way. Like I'm feeling confident that these are equal to 72 flowers. I'm also confident that these are equal to 72 flowers, but I've double counted if I do that. These are equal to 72 flowers. Like I know a lot here. When I go over to here, I feel like 2 boxes is 36 flowers. So I'm seeing a lot of ways that I might be able to use this information to help me get there. Like I'm sort of thinking like, if I look at it this way and say, well, that means that this is 36 flowers, right? That means like this is 36 flowers. And this is 36 flowers. Like all of it. Now, if we think about this for a second, or nope, if I think about this for a second, 4 boxes is 72. Like, and if I think about that and I go 36 plus 36, 36 plus 36. To me, that's like 30 plus 30 and 6 plus 6. So I've got 60 and 12 or 72. Look at that. That 72 also works. So right here we have 72 in total. And then if I just like add another 36, I'm good to go. 72, 82, 92, 102 plus another 6. I think I feel good about 108 again. Holy smokes. Like we've got some interesting strategies going on here. What do you say? I love it. I love that. That is awesome thinking. And I'm kind of looking at this and trying to think of like how someone might do something like that. And, you know, I mean, I see it visually here. Like I'm even wondering about like, I'm like, well, maybe if I went back and I went, well, wait a second. I know what 1 box is. 1 box of 18 flowers is going to be 18. And then I kind of see this like this doubling idea happening, like where I'm doubling this, but I'm not doubling my flowers per box. I'm doubling my answer. Like it's happening in sort of a different place. Like my rate stays the same. And it's like, I can get there. It's like, well, 1 box now turns into 2 boxes and 18 flowers turns into 36 flowers, which is consistent with what we're seeing here, right? Like when I doubled my 18, oh my gosh, there is so much interesting math that can be done here with multiplication, division, and the idea of a ratio, right? Like that's pretty cool. I really like that. Awesome. Awesome stuff. So any other information coming from the chat? And one of our friends who had a misconception earlier said, on Monday, I asked if it was 108. We must have missed that. And actually I see it now when I go back in the chat. I totally missed it. But awesome stuff. And it's almost like you rethought your strategy or maybe didn't get confident with that strategy. So remember, go back and prove it to yourself. That's kind of like the main message from every math lesson that we've done is really, it doesn't matter if you got the right answer or not. If you're not feeling good about the answer, then it doesn't really matter because it could be right, it could be wrong. It's just a gamble, right? So let's make sure that we're really confident you convince yourself there. All right, miss, what do you say? What time is it? I'm looking. Oh my goodness gracious. Where does the time go? I love it. I love it. We have so many different strategies that we saw or that we used. If we go back and we sort of like give you another visual of, you know, what we did with our 72 flowers in 4 boxes, you can sort of see this like if I half it and then I half it again, you can sort of see that idea coming to life here. And if we want to actually go and figure out how many were in, what did we have? 6 boxes. You can kind of see this idea that, hey, we could have started at 4 boxes and maybe just like added a box and 18 flowers, and then added one again. Like, that's a strategy that totally works. Totally love it. And something I'm also seeing here that I didn't think of before. This is the cool part about these strategies, right? Is like you can see it different ways. The more you think about it, you see it in more flexible ways. But I see when I add it twice, it's like I've added it once, I've added it twice. It's like that is the same as that. So it's like adding it twice is the same as adding 36 flowers and 2 boxes. So I can actually use some of this information to help me as well. And again, one way is not better than the other, right? Like some people might have like looked at this, and again, you see this like halving idea going on a bar model, right? And that really, that might have been a strategy that you used. And then when you wanted to get to 6 boxes, maybe you just multiplied by 6 boxes straight up. Like maybe you're really good with your 18s, or you have a strategy. Like maybe you went, you know what? I want 6 groups of 10 flowers and 6 groups of 8 flowers. And maybe that was a strategy that worked for you in order to get you all the way to your 108. Like totally up to you. There's lots and lots of really cool strategies that you could have used here in order to to get to your answers. But at the end of the day, what we're really working with is this idea of a composed unit ratio. And that's sort of the big question that, or the big takeaway that we hope that you have, is that all these ratios are equivalent, and that I can use them and I can think of them as division and multiplication sentences, but I just have to be very clear on what it is that I have and what it is that I'm looking to find. So think about the scenario. Don't strip away the units. Like don't strip away flowers and boxes. Use these ideas in order to help make it easy and intuitive for you. Totally. Like looking at that and going like, oh, like there they are. Like nothing changed about the boxes, right? Like we just moved them around, but the 18 stayed, that rate stayed the same. And that is really, really important. And then when you start to see, our backyard, and we start to see, it's like, oh, like all we did was we just like made copies of what we already knew. And here we are. Fantastic.
Well, there you have it, Math Moment Makers. We are now finished that planting flowers, day 1 of that particular problem-based unit. And I hope, if you haven't checked out the previous 2 videos, I hope you do, because we start off with sort of getting students started with a number talk, with a math talk, and then we extend this idea further in order to sort of emerge through multiplication and division, in particular partitive division, into how that helps us realize a composed unit ratio, and then utilizing scaling in tandem to sort of work with the expression in order to reveal other equivalent ratios. Now, students don't have to be pros with multiplication and division. Again, what we want to do is we want to use this opportunity as a means to go back and give them more opportunities to work with multiplication and division. So that means we're not promoting the use of calculators in these particular lessons. Now, when we get to purposeful practice, maybe there's a role for a calculator there. But again, we want to encourage students to model their thinking. We want them to become flexible and fluent with multiplication and division, so that when we get into the trenches with ratios, rates, and proportional reasoning, that students feel comfortable, they have a conceptual bedrock to stand on, and they feel confident in their math classroom. Now, some of you might be wondering, where can you go in order to find this particular problem-based unit? Well, you can head over to the Make Math Moments website, makemathmoments.com, and we have a tasks button there, or you could go to makemathmoments.com/tasks. That will bring you to our tasks page. Now, right now, these it looks fairly, I'm going to say, disorganized, and that is because right now we are in the process of getting a continuum-based organizer ready to go. Our web developer is currently working on that right now. But in the meantime, you can search by topic, and for us, we were looking and working with our planting flowers unit right here on ratios and rates. So again, while this idea is all about ratios and rates, really it's about multiplication and division and how they're intrinsically related. And this can be a really great opportunity for you to dig into context-rich problems with your students that promote the emergence of big ideas, strategies, and models. And really, it's all for you right here to run from the web, including all of our video clips and our prompts, all kinds of wonderful, wonderful learning to be had. It is a 5-day unit, and all of day 1 is open for you to use in your classroom as you see fit. And then portions of the other days are there as well. Of course, if you want to join the Academy, you will gain access to all the problem-based units as well as all of our courses to help up your game in your classroom. Right now, if you haven't done so yet, do us a favor, hit the subscribe button, hit that notification bell, and like this video. It'd be great if we got some of you to share a comment. What did you learn here? What are you going to implement tomorrow, maybe a month from now? And what might you be working on over the next year of your teaching journey? All right, until next time, I'm Kyle Pierce, and we will see you soon in our next MakeMathMoments.com video. See ya.